All right, so good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to day four of our training programs. And this will be the last day of our advanced Excel training. And as discussed already, uh, today we are going to start working with the rest of the formulas, functions, and the charts and graphs, and presenting our data in a beautiful story format. We are going to discuss all those things. All right. Now, go to the file of our sample case studies folder. The file name is case studies. And for your information, we have already done up to our VLOOKUP with approximate match and VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, VLOOKUP with exact match, all these things we have discussed. Now, the problem is when you go for VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP, I told you certain rules you always need to remember or follow, isn't it? Like VLOOKUP always asks data has to be there in vertical format. HLOOKUP says data has to be there in a horizontal format. So if your data doesn't work with VLOOKUP, if it is in horizontal format, you have the replacement HLOOKUP. Similarly, VLOOKUP says there should not be any duplicate in place. HLOOKUP also says there should not be any duplicate in place in the master data. What if you have duplicates? Then you have to do a treatment, you have to remove the duplicates, and you have to go for the unique keys or unique records. Third rule, VLOOKUP always says that the data flow has to be always left to right, and HLOOKUP says the data flow has to be top to bottom. Now, having said this, all these rules, when you work with VLOOKUP, definitely it is very painful. And one thing you have to write your VLOOKUP formula, and other way you have to go and work around with the rules as well. So if all is satisfied, then only you will be getting your desired output, isn't it? So in this case, there are so many things we have to remember. Now think about it. When you are doing work and you have to remember all these rules, functionalities, and the formula arguments, everything, it is really a bit tedious process. Now, if I give you some solution just to come over from all these problems, though it is vertical, horizontal, data flow is left to right or right to left, whatever it is, the situation, if I give you solution with only one formula, only one. There is no need of remembering multiple formulas or many more formulas. Only one formula is going to cater all your needs. Definitely that will be helping you a lot. So this is what we are going to discuss now, people. As I told you in day one, if you are having Office 365 at your workplace, you are really blessed. So let us take some examples of our Office 365 functions, which will be helping us to do our job in very easy fashion over here, and we can save our time. We can avoid the duplication of work over there as well. So now I'll go to the sheet name called MS Excel 365 functions. There is a sheet already there. Okay, I'll take you through that. So the file name is case studies, sheet name is our MS Excel 365 functions. Check the same is opened and kindly confirm with Y for yes. File name is case studies. Sheet name is MS Excel 365 functions. If it is opened, please confirm me in the chat box Y for yes. All right. Now let me take you through the situation. Please just watch my screen first. See, we have got a master data over here. You could notice like all our employee details are there, IDs that are available, employee name, department, position, salary. All right. Now, this is how 10,000 records is there or records are there over there in our Excel. Fine. Now, suppose say my boss asked me, Pravas, get me the salary of ID 004. So ID 004, if I'm looking for how much is the salary, 2000. But how to get that? So ideally we prefer to go for is equal to we look up, taking the lookup value and table array, selecting entirely, then comma, column index number. The other day we discussed how to compute the columns. always left to right. So one, two, three, four, five. So salary is there in the fifth column. So I should go for five. Now, comma. What kind of match VLOOKUP always ends up with, as we discussed, zero stands for exact match. And it gives the result, no doubt about it. Okay. So we got the answer with VLOOKUP, simple VLOOKUP formula we can apply. Now, the same, let's see how to get our result by using a beautiful formula of our Excel, naming called XLOOKUP. So XLOOKUP is available only if you are there in 365 or 2021 or 2024 version of Microsoft Excel. Earlier it was not there. And this is so powerful and it is called as a look father of all the lookup functions. So let's go and check how it works. So what I'm going to do, just watch my screen. I'll go for is equal to XLOOKUP. As I have been telling you since day one, to write any formula in Excel is very easy, but only thing is you have to follow the arguments properly. So here, if you look at the arguments, what it is demanding, lookup value. As VLOOKUP was asking for lookup value, XLOOKUP is also asking for lookup value. And we know what is the meaning by lookup value. Like what is the employee ID we have with us, that becomes my lookup value. All right, comma, lookup array. So here we need to understand one thing. When I have taken my employee ID, I need to go and search in the employee ID column only. So employee IDs, how it is arranged in one column. So I have taken. So that becomes my lookup array. Don't take this entire array as lookup array because when I'm taking ID, I need to go and search in the ID column only. Comma. It is asking for a return array. Where is your answer? So answer is there in my salary column. See, no column index number, no zero, nothing. Just simple three inputs, three arguments. Now, bracket close. Did you receive the same result? Right? So this is called your XLOOKUP. Okay, give it a try and check it's working. And let me know your opinion about this. So which one is easy? Typing VLOOKUP formula is easy or going for XLOOKUP is easy? Check and confirm, is it working? Any doubt, any queries from anybody? Is it clear? Working? Right? So situation A, how to solve these equations with XLOOKUP, those things we are clear. And now we'll proceed to our next example. So let's go and see the other features of our XLOOKUP, how it is going to make our job easy. Kindly take a look at my screen. We have a quantity discounts circular over here. Say, take an example of buckets. And over here, just go through this entire two columns and try to understand what is happening when somebody is purchasing more than 0 but less than 10. It should be 5%, means less than equal to 10, 5%. Then more than 10, that is from 11 till 25. If suppose somebody purchased 10%, then from 25, more than 25, but less than equal to 50 should be 20%. More than 50 over here, whatever you have got 20% up to 100. Well, now if this is what the quantity discount pattern or parameters we have got it. Now suppose say take an example. Somebody has got 28 quantities purchased from us. Okay. How much discounts he will be entitled to? Just look at this two column and tell me if suppose somebody is purchasing 28, how much discount we should award him. Yep, just manual check and tell me. No problem. How much for 28 quantities? All right. So here, if I go for 28, which bucket it is going to fall? Definitely, this is more than 25. So 28 is more than 25. So it is going to fall in the next category, and that should be 20%. But how to get that? Because I have got so many customers who has purchased from me and different quantity variables. And based on the quantity they have purchased, I need to award that much of discount to them. All right. So here again, the moment we go for VLOOKUP, what it happens? Do you think that VLOOKUP is going to give me the result 28? Is it going to be matched anywhere? No. So VLOOKUP is exact match, definitely not going to work. Now we have learned in the last class that okay, day two, like when you go for the data and it is falling in a range, then you should go for VLOOKUP with approximate match. Now 28, though it is not listed over here, but it is falling in a range. Like though it is not having a one-to-one match, but it is falling in between 25 to 40 range, right? So we know that we can go for VLOOKUP with approximate match. Now just see, when I go for equal to VLOOKUP, first watch my screen, try to understand the concept. Lookup value, yes. Then I go for table array. I will check this, then comma, column index number. So it is there in my column index number 2, comma. What kind of match? 1 for approximate match. And the moment you go for this, how much result it is giving? 10. But technically, it should be of 20%, which is VLOOKUP is not giving. So VLOOKUP technically fails over here, isn't it? But see the beauty, if this is the case, then how XLOOKUP is helping us to giving us the result, or how XLOOKUP is bringing the result for us. Just see. So the thing which doesn't work with VLOOKUP, how XLOOKUP is going to take place, the charge. Just see. I'll go for same XLOOKUP. Watch my screen. It is asking lookup value. So the quantity I have purchased, comma, lookup array. So the quantity I need to go and select in the quantity column only. Yes. Then, comma, this is demanding me return array. What do you want in return? So in return, I want or I am expecting this over here called discount column. Okay. Now here, the moment I go for it, comma, comma, what it demands if not found means if this quantity is not found over here. So definitely that is not going to case because whatever the quantity, if person is purchasing, it has to reflect in this particular range, right? So I can ignore this, not a problem. So comma means I'm ignoring that input, not a problem. Now it is asking exact match. You could notice it is showing over here exact match. Okay. What VLOOKUP does all the time, VLOOKUP with 0, we go for it. That's called exact match. 1, that is called -1. Exact match or next smaller item. What VLOOKUP with approximate match does. Now what we have? We have got exact match or next larger item to search, which XLOOKUP has the power. Now, when I go and select it, you could notice that value is turned out to be 1 and engaged over here. Then, comma, what it demands me? Just see. When I go for it, rest of things, you can just ignore it. With this, we can complete our formula. And the moment when I go and hit enter, did you receive the same value? Yes. But the problem is here exactly it is supposed to be 20%, but we are getting 20. So definitely 20 is not equal to 20% of the data, right? So this is the place where it has gone wrong. And if you do any further calculations, this will go in vain. So how to rectify this? Just see. The moment we have got this data, what I'll do, I know one thing, I have received something XYZ, but I should apply the same in such a way that it should give me the result. Well, so we know one thing that anything you multiply with 1%, the value will remain the same and the data will be converted to percentage. Yes. Now the value you could see it comes into decimal and we know we have already discussed how to convert any format to percentage format. Control Shift 5 and see we got the answer. So this is how people the formula VLOOKUP where it doesn't help how XLOOKUP has the ability to get our answer. Just check it out. Is it working? Any doubt, any queries, feel free to ask. Any difficulties? Anybody not getting answer or any argument is not clear? Feel free to ask. Right. Now, let us go for another situation where else you can use XLOOKUP. See, one more beautiful concept about XLOOKUP again we're going to learn. Stay focused. So take an example. I have got the same master data of 10,000 employees. Okay. Now, my boss asked me, Travas, get me a template in such a way, whenever I go and type any of the employee ID, the corresponding details should be available over here. Say, take an example. ID 003 is there. If I'm looking for ID 003 details, here I have, no doubt. But how to get the entire details like name, department, position, salary at once? That is what the question. So here we know one thing. If I'm looking for name, I need to apply one VLOOKUP. Why VLOOKUP? Because this data, if you look at in the master data, it is there in a column format or a vertical format. So our data is ready for VLOOKUP, isn't it? So now here in this case, the moment we go for this, name purpose, one VLOOKUP, department purpose, one VLOOKUP. Again, over here, our position and salary, I'll just shift it. One blank is there. Yeah, I'll shift it. So technically, there are four different VLOOKUP formula we have to apply because column index number is not dynamic. It is always static and we have to give it manually. So that will be very painful. Definitely here, four columns are there. I do not mind doing that. But when I go for, suppose, say, take an example of 20,000 records out of that, suppose 10 columns or 20 columns of data I need to capture. So I cannot go and apply 20 times VLOOKUP, right? So in this case, what we have got XLOOKUP. Now see the beauty, how XLOOKUP works for us. Just watch my screen. I will not select it, I just type XLOOKUP is equal to XLOOKUP. Taking the lookup value is nothing but my employee ID, comma, lookup array. So when I'm taking employee ID, I need to go and search in the ID column only. Yes, comma. Return array. What do you want in return? We want name, department, position, salary. So we should take everything. That's what the beauty of XLOOKUP. You can't, I mean, you can give the range completely what you want, what you were expecting. And then the moment now you hit enter, can you see at once the entire details are coming up? Yep. So this is what the power of your XLOOKUP people. Again, we don't need to go and keep changing the formulas inputs over there to get your answer. So give it a try and check it's just working. If you have any doubts, queries, feel free to ask. So can you feel that how XLOOKUP is making our job easy? Hope it is working. If you have any difficulties, do let me know. Right? Not working for Neha. Okay, Neha, you can share your screen, no problem. Right. Okay, you delete everything. First, you keep your cursor in the first cell, delete. Just delete. No need to select everything. Just keep your cursor. Okay. Just keep your cursor in the first cell. Yes, type is equal to X lookup. Yeah. Then lookup value in the left. Lookup value is in the left. Yeah, comma. Taking the lookup array is the entire employee ID column. Then comma, return everything. Return array, everything. Yes, now hit enter. Just hit enter. Yeah. Can you see? You got it. Just change the headings. The headings alone, you cut it and paste it towards your left. Heading alone, like position and salary. Those two headings, you cut it and paste it towards your left. No, the header line, no, no, not the entire thing, only the headings. Cut it, and paste it towards your left. Yes, perfect. So this is how we have understood how XLOOKUP is able to get our entire data at once. We don't need to go and keep on working with VLOOKUP for multiple times. All right. Now we'll take, I believe all are clear. Anybody else is having any trouble? Let me have a look. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Fine. Now we'll see, is there any other situation where we can use this XLOOKUP in our routine activities? Take a look. Suppose say this is what the entire abstract of our head counts department wise we have. Like we have got office in three different locations, one in Pune, second one in Mumbai, third one in Kolkata. Now take an example, department wise head counts in each and every unit, it is there. Now my boss is asking, Prabhas, get me a template in such a way. Whenever I go and type any of the employee ID, the total headcount of that, oh sorry, if I go and type any of the department name, the total headcount of that department should appear. So take an example. If my boss just select finance. So when you go and type finance over here, how much people or how many people are there in finance department? So 10,418 should be the result. It should come. But that should be dynamic. Dynamic, how to make it? See, first of all, to make something dynamic, we need to have a drop down. And how to create a drop down first? See, first 1 minute watch my screen. When you go to the cell and right click on that, in the very extreme top, you'll be finding one smart search button is there. Just above to the cut, you will be finding a smart search button. Okay. There you go and type valid. So when you type valid, it shows you the validation in the immediate below. So you need to go and just click it, and then it will take you through a dialog box called data validation. Now here, validation criteria, it shows me allow any value. Instead, go to the drop down and choose list. So when you go to the list over here, it demands to create a list, where is your data? So data is there over here, is enter department names. Now click OK, and you will be finding a drop-down list will be ready. Okay, so please give it a try and confirm you got your drop-down list ready. Fine. Drop down list is ready. Could you please confirm in the chat box Y for yes or D for done? Okay. So how to design a drop down or how to create a drop down list? We got it. Now suppose say I just want over here, what is the total head count? How to get that? See, if I go for VLOOKUP, I can get either of this, either Pune or Mumbai or Kolkata. I cannot get a total of that. Do you agree with me? What I'm trying to say? If I go and search based on the VLOOKUP formula for finance, I may search only Pune or Mumbai or Kolkata. I cannot get all these three records in details. So definitely total is not possible. And if I want to make a total, I have to use three VLOOKUP formula. One for Pune plus one for Mumbai plus one for Kolkata. I have to return something like this. And that is what it is really painful. Think about the length of the formula, how much it's supposed to be. But what we have XLOOKUP. Now see the beauty. How XLOOKUP is doing the job for us. Just 1 minute, watch my screen. I'll go for XLOOKUP. Lookup value is my department name, comma. Lookup array. When I'm taking department, I have to go and search in department. Yes. Then return array. So what do you want in return? So I'm expecting everything. Yes. And the moment I hit enter, I'm getting all the details, but I'm getting individual details. What I want is I want the consolidation of that. So when I'm getting individual details to consolidate the same, we know what we can do. We can go for a sum formula before XLOOKUP. So entire XLOOKUP formula I will retain with sum. Now the moment you go for this, what is happening? What XLOOKUP is going to return automatically, it will be totaled over here. Got it? See how it is making the job for you. So this is how people, whenever there's a need which VLOOKUP fails to make a total, you can go for XLOOKUP and get your things. So give it a try. Check, is this working? Any doubt, any queries? Do let me know. So two concepts we have done. One, how to create a drop down. Then, based on the lookup value, when it is matched, how to get a total of the matched values. But all any difficulties, do let me know. If it is done, please drop me a confirmation message. D for done, Y for yes. Right, people? Clear? Can you go to the next level? Yes, no, at least. Okay, thanks for the confirmation. So let's go for our next situation, situation E. Now take a look. What is the situation about? We have a master data of our all the department wise in 3 different years. What is the head count or what is the head strength we had or how much human capital we had? Everything details as a abstract we do over here. Now what my boss is saying, Prabhas, get me a template or design templates for me in such a way. Whenever I go and choose any department and whenever I choose any year with that combination, how much is the head count? I am looking for the result. Say, take an example. Department is safety. Well, year is 2019. So, how much is the answer supposed to be? The intersection point is 3100. So, this is supposed to be our answer over here, right? Hope it is clear. What is the ask? What is the demand? So, how to get it? That is what the most important part. See, here, first thing is whenever you want to select anything, when such kind of things comes, we need to have a ready-made drop down because static data we cannot keep and we cannot ask our people to keep typing it manually. So how to make it dynamic? By creating a data validation. And how to create a data validation? I told you, right click, going to the search, type valid, validation, you can go for it. This is one method. I'll tell you a very simplified method. Just see, keep your cursor anywhere in this particular cell where you want to create a drop down and go for on your keyboard Alt D L, D for data, L for validation. So Alt DL is nothing but to bring your data validation on the screen. So no right click, no nothing going to the navigation of search key options and typing the data and getting them activated. Simple keyboard shortcut will be helping you to get this done. Okay. Now validation criteria allow any value. No, we have a list. So we should go for a list. And this is asking for the source. So department purpose, where is the source? So this is my source, A41 to A45. Okay. Now one more over here. It shows me year over here. Okay. So year purpose again, one more validation. Allow any value purpose that we should go for list. Then it asks me source. So for year purpose, what is the source? Source is over here. Now, the moment you go and click OK, you will be finding two drop downs are ready. So one for the year to choose, okay, and one for department to choose. Now, suppose say department I'm choosing finance and year I'm choosing 2020. So finance department and 2020, if I'm looking for the records, it should be of 3436 should be the answer. But how to get that? That is what the question. So how to create dropdown? We got the clarity, but to get this answer in this particular case, first of all, we have got two lookup value, two value we have to look into. One department in the one column, one year in the horizontal format. So department is in vertical and our year is in horizontal. So one for VLOOKUP purpose is ready and one for HLOOKUP purpose is ready. But we just don't need two different answers. We want the combination, the intersection point of these two answers. But how to get that? See, this is what more painful. If you go for VLOOKUP, it will be giving one result. If you go for HLOOKUP, it will be giving one result. So we don't need two results. Our resultant output is only one. But how to get it? So if you are depending upon either of VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP, this alone is not going to help us. We have to depend upon some other formulas and functions to get this done. So again, VLOOKUP alone is not helpful. It needs the other formula or functions help. But what do you have now? XLOOKUP. Now see the beauty, how XLOOKUP is going to help us in searching the data vertically and horizontally as well. Now watch my screen for a minute. Lookup value. We have got two lookup value over here. So I'll go for the department. So department, I'll go and search in department. Yes. Now it is asking over here. Sorry. So I'll go for searching department. Then lookup array is the department. Yeah. Then it is asking return array. So where is your answer? The answer is there. If this year column is 2020, a static one, I could have selected like this. But this is dynamic. So whenever the dropdown changes from 2020 to something else, then my data range also should change accordingly. Okay. So this is dynamic, but how to make it dynamic? Just see. Instead of writing anything as a return array, what we can do, we can have one more XLOOKUP to search the data horizontally. So this is called looping of our lookup function of XLOOKUP or XLOOKUP within XLOOKUP. Now see what it is asking, lookup value. So out of two, already one is given for the first VLOOKUP. So we have left with 2020, comma, lookup array. So taking 2020, we need to go and search in the year columns, right? Comma, return array. What you're expecting? The entire details wherever it is matched. Now inner X lookup bracket close, outer X lookup bracket close. Now can you see the result? What we were just manually checking. Did we receive the same? Yes. So this is how people where VLOOKUP fails, HLOOKUP fails, and they need the support the system of different functions. How XLOOKUP has the ability or power to get it done to search vertically and horizontally as well. So give it a try, check it's working. Any doubt, any queries will be definitely you can take my help or you can ask ask the questions. And trust me, these are the combinations of formula what I'm telling to you whenever you go for designing any kind of dashboard, summary report, templates, this is going to help you a lot. But only thing is taking the live data, you have to keep practicing because overnight nothing is possible. Okay, so Neha has confirmed it is working for her. How about others? Rayu, Kanika, Harsha? Okay, so I believe situation E is clear for all. Yeah. Now I'll go for situation F. So let's see what else we can do with our X lookup. Take an understanding about the situation. See, this is what again our master data we do have over here. And now what is the requirement? My boss is asking me, Prabhas, do me a favor. Just design a formula in such a way whenever I go and type any employee ID, the salary should appear over here. Well, I can go for VLOOKUP, I can go for XLOOKUP to get the answer. But now take a look. As long as the data is there over here in this range, this employee ID, I'll be getting the answer over here, whatever the salary. I can get it, isn't it? Now suppose say I'm taking one employee ID name of ID like ID 007. Is it there over here? No. So if I go for VLOOKUP, what it returns, just let's have a look. If I go for VLOOKUP, comma, then taking the lookup value, and I'll go for searching this entire table array. And then which column? For salary, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What kind of match? 0. So when I go for this and return, it gives me some NA, hash NA. Reason? Because of data absence. So here the data what I'm looking for as lookup value, it is not appearing over here. But this is what I am aware of. But when I'm sending this data to someone else, the files to someone else, they may ask me a question, why it is showing this error called hash NA? Again, I have to explain them. But to deal with the same what we do ideally, our experts, they will suggest you have to go for another formula, again naming called if error. Just to handle the formula driven errors, you have to go for if error. Okay. Now here, what we have understood that VLOOKUP alone, this is not going to help us. Again, VLOOKUP needs the support of if error. But what we have right now, XLOOKUP. Now see the beauty. How XLOOKUP is doing the job for me, and even if in case of data absence, how it is handling the job, let's discuss that. Lookup value is nothing but this employee ID, comma, lookup array. So taking the employee ID, we need to go and search in the employee ID column, comma, return array. Where is the data? So data is there in the salary column. I'm expecting. Okay, comma. Now, if you see the output, I mean input, what it is demanding, the formal argument, if not found. So what does it mean if not found? That is nothing but the replacement of if error. So instead of writing a separate formula as if error, if not found, a ready-made input or the provision we have in our X lookup. So if the data is not matching, I can customize my own text over here, say not available, NA or anything, I can go and type like this. But when you are defining your own text, as I had told you in day one itself, you should write within two double inverted quotes so that it will be treated as a text and you'll be getting an exact output. Now, the moment I hit over here, enter, can you see? Here is the result. So ID 005, if it is there, result you'll be getting. If something I'm typing which is beyond the range or it is not existing in the range, it shows the output like this. So this is how people we have understood that XLOOKUP has the inbuilt our if error formula over there. So kindly give it a try, check it's working. Any difficulties, if you have, you can ask me. I believe the concept you are getting, what we have the XLOOKUP arguments, is it getting clear? All right. Fine. Now, let me take you through one more concept of our XLOOKUP, how this is going to help you in your routine activities again. Have a look. Now, suppose say, take an example. This is what our master data we have, the new recruitment. Suppose say, employee ID, name, date of joining, and their age. Okay. Now, suppose say somebody asked me, Prabhas, just let me know the person who had joined on 1st January 2020. What is his age? I want to know. So 1st January 2020. It's not mandatory that only one person would have joined in that day. There might be multiple people, right? But yes, if I need to search the age of that person, how will I search that? Now take a look. If I go to my date column, how many people have joined in 1st January 2020? If you look at it, shows there are 3 people. Now, when I go for VLOOKUP, what it returns, as I told you, if you have the duplicates in place, VLOOKUP will always pick the first value. Okay. But that is what I do not want. I don't want the first value, I want the last value. So, do you believe that VLOOKUP is able to give you the last value? No, because VLOOKUP has its own rules. So it checks the data always from top to, I mean, from the start to the end. It always from the beginning to end. So definitely, even though you try hard, you can't get it. But over here, if I need that, because most of the time what it happens when you do the analysis of price, like what was there at the year beginning and how much is there at the year end, sometimes we have to go and search or check our data, something like this. But if that is the case, then how you deal with the same? Let's see. VLOOKUP fails, no doubt, but see the beauty. What do we have? XLOOKUP. Now focus on my screen. XLOOKUP, what it says, lookup value I have taken, then lookup array taking date. I have to look into the date column. Yes, comma. Return array, what you're expecting is the age, comma. Then it asks me if not found. So that if you want to customize anything, you can customize that. We know how to do it within two double inverted quotes. And then the moment you look at, just watch my screen, match mode. Of course, 0 stands for exact or one-to-one match, right? Now it is asking me search mode. So search mode, if you look at over here, search mode, just see, okay? So bring this up so that you can see it properly. Hmm. So search mode, I'll take this out. Yes. Search first to last. That is what VLOOKUP does. Search last to first. That is what VLOOKUP with. Over here, if you go for it, there's no such kind of options, but we have XLOOKUP, which has the ability to search the data from last to first as well. So I'll go for double click on the same, bracket close, formula is ready. Now can you see the last entry in the range it pop up? So this is how people, whenever there's a need, as I told you, scenario, you can make use of this particular formula, and that is going to help you a lot or saving a lot of time. right? So give it a try. Check it's working. So any difficulties or any questions in the application of any of these arguments of this formula?
Because I have a
Yeah, please ask.
yes, in search mode right now we have selected the -1 means which it is like the first two last two first.
Right.
Yeah. So if we want to search for number 40, like A for Mr. A, what will we type over here in search mode? Like for
No, no.
35 we will select last two for first to last.
No, no, it's not about 35 or 40. In the
Uh,
range, which is the first entry for first Jan or which is
yeah.
the last entry. These two only it can search.
Okay. If I want to search for Mr. A age, then how will I do that then
Yeah,
for
Mr.
Mr.
A, Mr. A age means lookup value should be Mr. A.
A? So
Lookup value should be Mr. A. Instead of 1st Jan 2020, you should
yep.
take Mr. A. And
Okay.
then your return criteria is your age.
Age, yes.
Yeah. So like here, we'll just take a look. If you go for Mr. A, I'm just doing it. I'll go for a simple X lookup or V lookup, anything. So taking this lookup value, I'll go and search. This is my
A.
lookup array. Then comma return array. I should go for this. And the moment I hit enter, it will return me that.
Oh,
Yes. All right. Yes. So can I take that everybody's clear with our situation G? So now the balls are in your court, people. You have to take the live data and keep practicing about upon the same. Trust me, you are going to save a lot of time. And when you send it across to somebody, though your customer vendor, only thing is you have to make a note that person should have Office 365. If he is having a different version, then you have to send the data with copy paste special value. You cannot retain the formula if they're working with the earlier or old version of Microsoft Excel. Okay, this is the only thing you have to keep in your mind. Fine. So this is how XLOOKUP the entire usage based on the formula arguments we have discussed about it. Now we'll go for our situation I. Here again, I'm going to take you through a beautiful concept of our Office 365 people and which is going to save a lot of time for us and where we can use it when you do the reconstruction activity people we always used to spend a lot of time like Take an example. Suppose say this is what the entire employee wise expenses details. I have the abstract for the entire organization. Whoever the employee, how much they have spent, I have got the list. So probably one person would have spent 5 times, 10 times, 20 times also. There is no restrictions, but yes, entire expenditure details are there. Now, in my department, these are the people working. I just want to know my department people, whatever the expenses they have incurred. I don't want the total. I don't want the total. I want the individual denominations. Say, take an example. If I'm looking for RAM, if you look at our history, how many times RAM has spent? Just see, RAM has spent 4 times. Okay. I don't want the total of whatever he has spent. I want only those individual values like 1093, 3010, 1871, 4186. All these four individual entries I want so that I can reconcile with the other records, what he has submitted to me and what management has given to me. I want to cross check that. If that is the case, then I need to have those individual entries, then I can go and check it, right? But how to get that? So here again, what it happens, people, we always end up doing the multiple filters. So Ram will apply filter, John again will apply filter. So how many employee names, whoever the employees list is there, that many times we have to go and apply filter. That is really a tedious process. Then how to get this done? Just see. We have a very beautiful concept we are going to combine by taking a formula naming called text join. What is the formula name? Text join. What is the job of this formula? Just to combine or joining the text with a delimiter. Like how do you combine your text with a comma or at the rate sign, underscore, dot, hyphen, slash, or anything you want to combine with that. So what we have to do is there is a formula over here called text join, and here it is asking first delimiter. So what is the meaning by delimiter? How you want to see your data, what kind of separator you want to use. So ideally while writing our data, we use the separator called comma. If you are writing manually also, same thing. So comma, since it is a delimiter, what we can do, we can write within two double inverted quotes because it is a delimiter, right? Now, comma, what it says, ignore if empty. So if there is no data, there is no point of bringing the answer over here. Yes. So we'll go for ignore if empty, comma. Then it asks me text 1, comma, text 2, comma, text 3. So you should add all your text over here. It is asking. So that is what where we have to check our data is not consistent. It's a dynamic one. And how to get it? We'll go for a conditional formula or a logical formula of Excel naming called if. What it demands, logical test. What do you want to check? RAM equal to. Then where to check? So taking RAM, we'll search in the employee name column. Now when I copy this formula towards down, this employee name column should not move down. So we should lock it, isn't it? Comma. Then it asks me value if true. Now suppose say RAM is matched over here. What you're expecting? We are expecting the expenses, and these details should not move down on movement of the formula, right? Now, comma. So when I go and give comma over here, this asks me value if false. It means if I'm looking for RAM and RAM is not appearing over here, obviously that is called value if false. What you're expecting? We are expecting nothing. So nothing means you should not go and define anything within over there. Just go for two immediate double inverted quotes and that will be defined as a blank cell. So when you go and hit bracket close for if formula, again bracket close for texture formula, formula is ready only for a cell. Need to apply for rest. Control, enter, and see the beauty. We got this entire answer ready. So this is going to help you a lot, people. When you go for at the year end or month end reconciliation activity, rather doing it manually or taking the help of multiple filter, you can make use of that. All right. So give it a try and check it's working. So is it working? So there are many more formulas, functions added in 365 version of Microsoft Excel, people. So keep exploring the same and make use of those formulas, functions in routine activities. And where to go and learn, I told you already. There are 10 website names I have suggested. So whenever time permits, go and explore more. All right. So 365 functions, the story is over in that sheet, whatever we discussed. Any doubt, any queries from anybody? Good for next level? Yes, no. Thank you so much for your response. So now we are going to discuss about some more functions which will be helping us in our routine activities while designing any kind of dashboards, summary reports, or templates. Let's go and discuss about it. So there is a sheet called sum and count. Okay, let me take you through that. See, here we have got some data about all our employees. Take an example. We have got date of training, name of the employees, department they belong to, salary they draw, and training expenses incurred upon them. Okay. So like this, suppose say we have got 10,000 employees, all this data is available. Now taking all these five columns into consideration, we need to answer all these six questions. Okay. Now before that, if you look at our date of training column, if you look at it is not there properly formatted. And I told you in day one to convert any format to date. What is the shortcut? Anybody? Yesterday also we discussed to convert any format to date format. Control Shift 3. Control Shift 3. Okay, no problem. Now, going to the first question. Yeah, very good, Neha. So going to the first question, count occurrence of department IT. It means we have to deal with the department column and we need to check how many times IT department is appearing in the department column. We need to count and state the result. So basically, we need to do a criteria-based counting. So whenever you do a criteria-based counting, we have a ready-made formula naming called count if. Count if. Now here, what it says is range. Which range we have to deal with is the department column. Then I told you yesterday, once you are done with your formula, again need to come back. Control backspace. So where this is going to help, this kind of huge volume of data when you are dealing with and designing the formula, you can make use of that. Criteria is department IT. You can go and select where IT department name is there, or you can type it manually IT also, but that should be within two double inverted quotes that you have to always remember. Right? Now this is asking for over here, nothing. So there's no other arguments. Formula is closed. Now the moment I hit enter, how much I get? 22. So this is how whenever you go for criteria based counting people, we'll be getting an answer something like this. Just check it out. Is it working? Or if you're getting the same answer, anybody's getting a different answer, bring it to my notice. Right. Now we'll go for our next count salary for less than 1,50,000. So here in the salary column, we have to deal. And wherever it is less than 1,50,000 values are there, how many times it is appearing that we have to count and state the result. So again, we do have a formula, criteria based counting. Count if range is the salary. Then criteria. So when you have the criteria less than 1,50,000, how to write it? See, you must write everything within two double inverted quotes. So this will be giving you result Check it out. Are you getting the same? Hope this is working. Okay. So thank you for the confirmation. Let's go for our next. Some salary for department finance means first we need to go and check in the department column wherever the finance department is there. Then corresponding salary, how much it is, we need to compute that. So basically, what we need to do a criteria based sum. So for that, we have a ready-made formula, people, naming called sum if. So as we discussed, which range we have to work first is the department. Then this is asking criteria. So criteria is finance. So how to write it? Either you can go to the cell which contains finance text, or you can write the whole text within two double inverted quotes. Then sum range. Which range you'll be applying the sum formula in the salary column. And now you'll be getting a total. So 12 lakhs 17,876. This is called your criteria based sum. Check, are you getting the same or any different answer? Fine. Are you getting the same answer? Any difference? Or anybody having any questions? So how to use count if, how to use sum if? Hope it is clear. Fine. Now let us go for our next. Some salary above 2 lakh rupees. So in salary column, wherever it is more than 2 lakh cases are there, those cases we have to make a total. So basically again, criteria based sum to be done. So we know we have a formula called sum if. What it demands me? Range. So which range? We have to work with salary range. Yes. Criteria above 2 lakhs. How to define? We know we discussed that within two double inverted quotes, we should write everything over here, isn't it? Now, once I am done with this over here, to complete my formula, it is still demanding some range. So some range, which range you will be applying the sum formula in the salary only, but that is not needed. Why it is not needed? Since our range and some range is same, we can complete our formula by criteria itself, and we don't need to extend our formula or making the formula length more, and we can get our answer. So 18 lakhs 42,219. So this is how people, one concept again, remember, wherever it is possible, try to keep your formula length minimum. Just give it a try. Are you getting the same total? Is it working? Can I take that? Okay. So I believe that you all got the same value as the answer for question number 4. Let's proceed to question number 5. Some salary more than 50,000 but less than 1,50,000. So basically, in salary column, we have to deal. First, we have to segregate more than 50,000 value. Then again, we have to take one more bucket less than 1,50,000 value. And whichever the value falls in between 50,000 to 1,50,000, we have to make a total of that. So basically, we have to do a criteria based sum. But number of criterias are more than one. So whenever you have more than one criteria based sum to be done, we have a very beautiful formula naming called sum ifs. Very beautiful formula, but bit peculiar also. So let's stay focused. Where people commits the mistake, I'll tell you, and you have to be accurate on that. Just see. Some range. Which range you'll be applying some formula? Yes, salary. Then criteria range one. So what is criteria range one? People always believe it should be more than 50,000. That's not your criteria range, that's your criteria. So formula next what it is asking, criteria 1 is nothing but more than 50,000. But formula is asking now criteria range 1 means more than 50,000 cases where you are going to search. We are going to search in salary only. So this is the place where people always commits a mistake. So you need to give a range, not a single cell. Now, come on. Criteria 1. So as per the question, what is my first criteria? More than 50,000. So within two double inverted quotes, I can go for more than 50,000. Come on. Criteria range 2. So whatever my second criteria, less than 1,50,000, where to search? Again, we have to go and search in salary only. And then we have to go for criteria 2. So as per question, what is the second criteria? Should be less than 1,50,000. Can you give it? And this is supposed to be my answer, 48 lakhs 8,293. So this is how we have understood people how to apply multiple criteria based sum at any point of time and get a result. This is, as I told you, very powerful formula, people, and mostly while designing the dashboard, summary reports and all will be using it. And this is what the formula which works in our pivot table. In the beneath of the pivot table, you say, try this and let me know, is it working? Right. So I believe everybody has got the same answer. Any difficulties, anybody? All right. Now, so we know how to write now countif, how to write sumif, how to write sum ifs, how to define the criteria properly when it is a value along with one arithmetical operator to make a condition. Now we are going to discuss the question number 6. See, find the total training expenses incurred between 1st August 2019 and 31st January 2020. It means between two dates, whatever the training happens, how many training happened and whatever the expenses incurred over there, those expenses details, we need to make a total of that. So again, criteria based sum to be done, but number of criteria are more. So let's see how to define that. So it is asking sum range. Which range you will be applying the sum formula? We'll go for our training expenses. Then criteria range 1. So what is your first criteria? First criteria is 1st August 2019 and above. 1st August 2019, whatever the training happened, we need to include. That is my start date and above. So my first condition we have understood, but where to check? Criteria range 1 is nothing but that. So when I'm looking for a date, I should work with my date parameter, date column. Now what it is saying? Criteria 1. So here precisely you have to give it within two double inverted quotes greater than equal to. Why equal to? Because start date, the same date we have to take it, and the date must be in proper date format. Though it is DDMMYY or MMDDYY, not a problem, but you should define it properly. Come on. Criteria range 2. So second criteria, what it is that whatever the training happened on 31st January 2020 and before that, we have to take it. Okay. But where to check again? The same in the date of training. Then it is asking criteria 2. So second criteria is less than equal to 31st, again with the same format 2020. And the moment I go and hit enter, this is going to give me a result 1,09,393. So this is how people, when there is a date related parameters is there, how to take those date criterias, we got the basic understanding. So give it a try and check it so you are getting the same value over here, people. Any difficulties in any of these formulas, whatever we have discussed, people? All right. So thanks for the confirmation. Now just save all your files, people. And with this, we'll go for a short break of 15 minutes. In my system, it is 3:45. 4 o'clock. Again, we'll catch up and we'll discuss our rest of topics. So have a tea or coffee, come back soon, and we'll discuss. All right, so I believe everybody's back. Could you please respond why for yes so that we can continue? Okay. How about others? All right, so go to our sample case studies folder. There is a file called chart tech. So we are going to discuss about now charts and graphs. And in day two, if you remember, we discussed about some data visualization techniques by using the sparklines, icon sets, and data bars. And those things only for mere visual purpose you can use, I told you. And now we are going to discuss when there is a need of charts and graphs, what is the essence of that and how it is playing a role and what we can present over there in charts and graphs and how to take the right call on the selection of the charts depending upon the data. We are going to discuss everything. All right. So let's open that file. So go to the sheet called quick chart over here and you can find we have got different product wise how much revenue we have made. The complete details is over here. Now suppose say this is what I have made or designed by consolidating multiple Excel files or Excel sheets, whatever I had. And this is the final summary. I have made it. Now my boss is asking me, Pras, why don't you plot the data in a graphical format? So to plot a graph out of this entire data, what we can do is simply by selecting the data, Control A, keeping the cursor anywhere in the data set, and on your keyboard, press Alt F1. So when you press Alt with F1 key, it will be giving you an immediate chart over there. If F1 is not your direct key, use function Alt F1, Fn key with Alt F1. You will be getting the results. See how a quick keyboard shortcut is helping us in plotting a graph, isn't it? Now, here, the chart, whatever you have, you can notice the data is in one location, chart is there, and it is in the same worksheet. If you are happy, well and good. Sometimes what people may demand that why don't you plot a graph in such a way so that it will be bigger in size, neat and clean, presentable, and there should be only the chart. No data should be available, so people should not get deviated from the focus, and it should be exactly bagging the point attraction point of the audience. So how to do that? Take a look. Selecting your data again and go for a keyboard shortcut only F11 only F11 and immediately you will be finding a exclusive chart sheet will be turning up. If it is not your direct key, go with function key with F11 and this is going to give you an exclusive worksheet and that is called a chart worksheet. Neat and clean, presentable, no data over here, only the chart in place. So these are the two quick keyboard shortcuts, people. You can make use of that whenever you have to plot a graph out of any sort of data in Excel. Check all these two keyboard shortcuts are working and confirm in the chat box. Right? Hope it is working. All right. Now go to the quick chart sheet. Chart is ready. Now the question is what and how to present it over here. See, chart is there. As I told you in day 3 while working with pivot, I told you one thing. Whenever you have the chart in place, first go to design and which style, take the last one blindly. Now, why the last one? I told you yesterday that when you compare the other styles, the last one is going to give you some kind of glossy impact, embossing effect, or shadow impact. So go for it. And here, once it is done, this unwanted grid lines which is appearing inside this chart area doesn't look good. To remove the same, click on the plus symbol and go for over here. A grid line checkbox is there that you can deactivate. And again, click the plus symbol, things are in place. Fine. Now, once we have done with this, what is our latest style says whenever you are chart presenting over there, make sure your chart is informative. So how to add the information? Right click on any of the column inside the chart, right click on any of the column and go for over here, add data label. So you could notice each and every column wise, whatever the product wise values were there, is it embedded in the top? Yes. Now select one of the data label. You can notice all the data labels have been selected at once. And now you can go for making it bold, Control B, B for bold, then increase the font size over here so that people can read your data. Don't it make it extraordinarily large, but how to increase? I told you the other day, keyboard shortcut, Control Shift greater than symbol to make it or to increase it. Now, the latest style it says that when you have the data labels in place, there is no role of your access scale. And if you're maintaining access scale, there is no point of defining the data labels. So if you compare both, which one is giving the instant information? Of course, the data labels, right? Now, what we can do with the access scale, you can select and delete. Simple. Select the access scale and delete. Now, once we have made it, regarding the chart title, bringing the or plotting the chart title in the center, those days are gone where people used to be happy watching the same in the center. But nowadays, you mostly see that the chart title always in the right side. People love to see it. Okay. So once you have done with these things, next step, what you need to do. Nowadays, the audience is having a different level of expectation. When you present your data as it is, they don't like it. What they're expecting that when you're presenting your data, ensure your data speaks a beautiful story. So how to make out that or how to convey this message or how to present our data so that everyone who is in the audience side, they will be watching the data and they'll be very happy. Let's see. Select your data, whatever you have, and just go for data sorting. If you remember in day 2, we discussed a keyboard shortcut, Alt D S, D for data, S for sorting. Today we learned Alt D L, D for data, L for validation. So these are the earlier menu driven keyboard shortcuts. Still it is prevailing and you can make use of that. Now sort by your USD column and order you choose largest to smallest. And when you go on click OK, you will be finding a beautiful chart is ready stating that our cocoa powder is giving the maximum revenue and our custard powder is yielding us the least revenue. So whoever is watching the data, they will be very happy watching our presentation. If you do not like this color, you want to apply something of your own, that's also possible. You can select one column, all the columns should be selected. Then go to format and choose shape fill to something else. So that is also possible. So it's not mandatory whatever it says or shows the colors you have to take it. All right. So this is how we have understood how to create a beautiful chart, what are the necessary formattings, how to apply, how to bring our latest style, how to bring it into a more informative way, and finally, how to present it with a beautiful story format. We got that understanding. So any doubt, any queries as such, anything, all these things are happening, anything is missing. Right? Hope it is working. All right. So how to create a beautiful chart? We saw that. And no doubt when you look at your chart itself, it is seeming so interesting and quite lucrative as well. But still, our audience will not be happy. Why? Everything is fine over here. Just the problem is the text. What you're showing people to the over here that they don't like it. Because you are forcing your audience to bend their head by another 30 to 45 degree and they don't like it. So now the question is, we have got our product names so lengthy, what we can do for that, then how to present it so people will love to see it. See, whenever your text is too much or you want to emphasize upon the text, then this is not the right format of your chart. So the selection process has gone wrong while doing the right selection of the chart. So how to make it better? Just see. I will select this chart. I'll make a duplicate. Control D to make a duplicate. But in Excel, if you are in cell, you want to go for Control D, it will make the filling down. Okay. And here to make it duplicate. Now I'll keep this duplicate sheet or duplicate chart from below. And whatever the chart we had prepared earlier, I'll just right click upon that. So when I go for right click, you would notice we have the option called change chart type. And when I go for change chart type, you could see it will be taking to my entire chart family where you can see we have a beautiful option over here taking called bar. So when I go for bar option and click OK, you can notice a beautiful chart is ready along with respective values, giving the more emphasis on the text part, not a problem. Okay. But still people will not be happy. You know why? The data, what you look at, it is there in over here in largest to smallest. But in our case, chart is there in smallest to largest. So how to make it better exactly sync with our data? So what you can do over here is just select your access data, right click upon the same, okay? And then in the bottom, you will be finding an option called format access. And when I go for that, in the extreme bottom of this right side window pane, we have an option like category in the reverse order. So when I go and click it with immediate effect, you will be finding A beautiful chart is ready. All right. So you could notice now exactly along with the data ordered, our chart is also been placed. So this is how you can take always the right selection on the chart. And this is what nowadays more preferable if you see, though this chart is looking great, but this is what people would like to prefer to see, right? So this is how we have understood like how to create a beautiful chart out of any sort of data and how to take the right selection on the chart and presenting it effectively. So this is the story of our quick chart sheet. So any doubt, any queries in our quick chart sheet, people? Anybody? Just ask me. Or any difficulties in understanding anything? Fine. Let us go for our next chart type, people, naming called combo chart. This is one of the essential chart type in our routine activities. Whenever you have multiple columns in place, rather showing a boring chart or making it more overloaded with the data or making it diluted and giving a wrong picture or message to the audience, how to make it neat and clean and how to keep it very simple for the people to understand, we are going to discuss it. So let us discuss with one data. Take a look. We have got month column and whatever the sales data is there in terms of lakhs and over here it is available and sales in terms of percentage is also available. Now this data, whatever I have, based on this, I would like to plot a graph. What is the shortcut? I told you, Alt F1. So once your chart is ready, what you can do is you can go to your design, which style? The last one. Then go into plus symbol and remove the grid lines. Okay. Now chart is ready. You could notice chart is ready. But the chart, if you want to read, how you are going to read this, take a look. The moment you go for reading this chart, you could notice we have got a sales data over here. Fine. That's there in the blue color bars. There is one more data over here. You could notice sales percentage. Do you see anywhere that details? It is there. If you very closely look at if it is that it is there. It is there in sitting in the bottom. Very small patches you could see. So this is not very clear. So we can't express the data in this fashion and tell that people, okay, it is there in sitting in the bottom. So why it is happening like this? Let's have the basic understanding. See, in our data, if you look at our sales data, whatever we had, okay, this sales data, what it happens, it is there in numbers, okay? But our sales percentage, if you look at sales percentage, it is there in percentage. So basically, there are two different formats over here and cannot be combined with one axis. That's why we have to create another axis over here in the right side of our chart area. And then we should present our sales in percentage data over here. And that axis we can consider as a secondary axis or Z or Z axis, or we can call it as a combo chart in Excel. Okay. So what is the role of secondary axis? Why we need to have a Z or Z axis? We got the basic understanding. Now the question is how to prepare it. Okay. So what you can do, you can simply right click on the chart area, go for change chart type. When you go for change chart type, it will take you to the chart family where you could see over here combo, the extreme bottom left. Can you see option called combo? Now in this combo, when I select, it shows me sales data in terms of cluster column. Let it be. Then it shows me sales percentage. It shows as line. Instead of line, I should choose going to the drop down and choose from the line over here, the last category of line. Now, so line with markers, it is going to add more value towards your presentation. So select it, and here, do not forget to select this combo axis. All right. Now, once you do so, click OK. You will find a beautiful chart is ready. So how to read that? Sales data in terms of blue color bars and sales percentage data in terms of a line chart, and that too in the line form maroon color it has been displayed. So this will be very, very essential people in our routine activities nowadays when you have multiple data sets, multiple series or multiple columns of data. Instead of creating multiple files, just have over there one graph which is depicting the entire story to the people. No need to just go and navigate, showcase the things in a different way. All right. So how to use this combo chart? What is combo chart? We got some basic idea. Any difficulties in understanding? Anybody? Or any questions from anybody? All right. So what is quick chart? What is combo chart? We got that basic understanding. Any difficulties? Anybody? See, graphs and charts basically you have to use to tell your story. So in case of absence, if people are unable to read the data properly, if you can make them a graph, they will understand the things easily. So because what happens when you prepare a lot of data, maybe that statistics or the numerical value, you might be feeling that, okay, it is needed. But all the time, the audience is not having that much of time, or they're not interested to see your boring numbers like billions, millions, lakhs, and crores. So better you can go for this kind of chart presentation, and people would be happy watching the same. But as I told you, right selection of the chart depending upon the data is very, very essential, and that comes out of your practice. So you have to go for practicing upon the same, and you have to understand different types of data sets. Sometimes you have to take the data like financial data, sometimes sales or marketing related data, or sometimes HR related records, or where you showcase the sales data in terms of growth and degrowth. All these different types of set of data, if you go through that, you can have more clarity and you will be getting more information how to present our charts. Okay, so let me take you through another one. Just see, most important again, like budget versus actuals or target versus actuals or planned versus actuals. People name it differently. So whenever there is a need, it's just kind of charts over there in the picture. If you look at every month end, quarter end, yearly, half yearly, whatever the data you are presenting, this is very much needed, isn't it? Now the question is, with minimum efforts, with no time, how to create a beautiful chart over here. Let's have a discussion. Take a look. We have got month, we have got target, we have got actuals. Okay. So month-wise, whatever the targets we have set and how much we have made exactly, everything is there. So selecting the data, I will plot a graph. Graph is ready. Okay. Now, when I go for this graph, as I told you, the first thing first, we should go for chart design, then go for the latest style, the last one, and then going to the plus symbol and remove the grid lines. Then you talk about the rest. This is the first minimum two formattings we must do all the time. Yeah. Now, how to present it? I'll do one thing. I'll go for simply right click on that, change chart type. I'll go for it. When I go for change chart type, here you will be finding we have the option called combo. Now combo, if you click the target data, it shows as a clustered column. So target data, ideally, it looks good when it is there in a line form. So let's go to the drop down and choose line. Then I'll go to actuals, and instead of actuals lines option, I can go and click on drop down, and I'll go to the very beginning, like the top. If you look at the column section, it shows the clustered column. So when I go and select, no need to choose as a secondary axis because both are in the same parameters. So go and click OK and see with minimum efforts, a beautiful target versus actuals chart, right? So wherever the columns are exceeding that blue color line, it's very simple. Those months we have made some surplus business, and that's a good sign from the company perspective, right? Check it out. Any difficulties in doing the same or any questions, feel free to ask. So is it clear? Okay. Now, here, stay focused. There might be a need also sometimes where it happens, like if the presentations are recurring in nature, like this month you have presented something like this to your people, they're happy. And next month, if you are having a meeting and you are going to present the same chart, just mere changing the details, do you think that you can create that much of impact in the audience mind? Never. So now the question is how to make it something different while presenting next time. I have only the data. I can only simply update the data, but charts entirely how it will be different. Just say to give a different flavor, different meaning to the audience, just select the chart and go for Control D to make it duplicate. The duplicate one, I can drag it and keep it in the bottom. Okay. Now this chart, what I had, I'll go for right click upon the same, change chart type. And when I go for this over here, then in this combo section, target, it shows line with markers, no doubt. Actuals, it shows clustered column. So instead of clustered column, I would suggest you should go for line with markers again. So both the cases line with markers. So this is another version. When you go and click OK, your target versus actuals is ready. So sometimes you show something like this, and sometimes you make it something different like this. So people happen to see something different all the time, alternatively, and they will be very happy. So this is how people with minimum efforts, how to create a beautiful budget versus actuals or target versus actuals. We saw that. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask in this sheet. All right. So I believe it's working for all. Now, what are the other chart types mostly we use in our routine activities? Let us go and get a glimpse of that so that you can also make use of the same in your routine activities. See, there is a chart type called pie chart. Mostly sometimes what it happens, even though you prepare a very beautiful chart, they demand, no, I want pie chart. But pie chart is no more having a charm. It has lost its charm because of its drawbacks. Now, what is the drawback? Like, take an example. If you have the data in positive fashion, you can go and present it in a pie chart. If you have the negatives in place, you will not able to get your information properly when you have the negatives. Like say, take an example. Here I'm going to plot it. Just do one thing, 1 minute, watch my screen. See, I'm going to plot a graph about my pie chart. Okay. Now, if I have a negative any point of time, do you see it is going to present it that negative value? So this is my negative value, no doubt about it. Okay. But it is unable to express my data properly. So this is the reason why pie chart has lost its charm. This is one of the reason. Other reason, when you have multiple series in place, suppose say sales is there, quantity is there, and other your suppose say YTD sales or YTD or MTD sales is there, anything you have. When you have entire 3 4 columns series, then pie chart is unable to express that. So this is the reason why nowadays pie chart is not having more charm. So rather people prefer to see the data in a beautiful our bar chart. But anyway, sometimes if it is needed, the data is there in a positive fashion, then how to plot a graph about pie chart? Let's have a discussion. Take some values. Now take a look. I'll select my data. I'll go to insert. I'll go to pie. So in pie, you can see this is 2D pie, 3D pie, and donut. So this is what the latest style of our pie chart, donut chart you must have seen. Some graphical presentations of financial records people are expressing zone wise or anything like you have multiple units or cost center wise, anything you want to express, you can do that. Now here I'll go for a 2D pie. Okay. And I told you always go for our latest or the last style over here. Chart title, I can put it across in the center. Instead of center, I can make it right. And this extra legend, whatever it turns up, it is of no use for us. We can simply delete. So this is how we have created our pie chart out of simple data. Fine. But this chart definitely is incomplete because I told you always have your information in place. So how to add those information? Just see, right click and we go for add data labels. But the data labels, if you look at somewhere inside the pie, somewhere outside of the pie area, right? Ideally, whenever you prepare a pie chart, the data labels should be outside of the pie area. But how to bring it? Just see. Simple techniques. Select one of the data label. The entire data label should be in selection. Then right click open that. You have the option format data labels. Then when I click it, you could see a window box pane over here it turns off, and in the bottom you see it shows that best fit, our label positions best fit. So instead I should go for outside end. So what will be happening? All these data labels will be appearing outside of the pie area. Well, make it bold first. But ideally, when you prepare a pie chart, our data labels cannot be ever expressed in terms of millions, billions, lakhs, and crores. It has to be always in terms of percentage. So here, to make it percentage, you have a percentage, one checkbox not selected, you can notice. So you can select that. Now, all these data labels, along with your original value, percentage value also will be added. So duplication of data not needed. You can deactivate values. Done. But mere having only percentage with those pies, again, that leads to a lot of questions in the audience mind. They may ask, what is this orange color pie shows? What is this green color pie is telling the story? So before they ask anything, provide them all the details. How? There is an option called category name. You can select it, the checkbox, and you can notice each and every data label wise, the month details will be appearing on the screen. Now, though we made it, but this is not looking so great and the data labels are really overlapping with each other. So what you can do is you can simply go to this separation separator tab, and then when you click on this dialog box over here called our small drop down, and within that we have the option called space, the last one. So automatically what will be happening, our data labels will be aligned properly and it will be displayed on the screen, right? Now, whatever we have done so far, anybody can do that. It's not a rocket science or something different we have made it. Anybody can do. So now the time has come to discuss about how to present it effectively in such a way over there so that people will love to see and they will appreciate our work. See, as I told you, our audience is having a different level of expectation. So they always expect that when you're presenting your data, make sure your data speaks a beautiful story. So how to present our data with a beautiful story format? That is what our next objective. Remember one thing, whenever you have the pie chart in place, okay, just ensure that whichever the pie contains the maximum value should be aligned to the left corner like this. So where exactly November month is there, we should have Feb month over there because the maximum occupancy we have in Feb month, right? Then how to bring that? Basically, we have to rotate the pie. Now, how to rotate the pie? Right click on the pie. You have the option Format Data Series. Then from this pie chart, when you see angle of first slice one marker, one line is there, and you can slightly slide that marker on the line. What will be happening? It will rotate the pie. Okay. Now, when I'm taking it, can you see it starts rotating? When I simply just drag it, it starts rotating. So I have to rotate in that way, that angle I showed you. So there I have to stop. And now I can close this window button and I can keep my cursor outside of the chart area. Somewhere in the blank cell, I can click it. Now I'll select that Feb pie. So when I selected my Feb month pie, you can notice all the pies are in selection. If I go and select one more time this Feb month, what happens? Only Feb month is selected. The rest of pie you could see now not in selection. Now, what you can do, like the moment when you order pizza at home or you go to the pizza corner for dining, how do you take a slice out? Similarly, hold your Feb month and take this out. And now this is going to add a beautiful story that from the entire year during the month of Feb, we have got our maximum revenue over there. So this is how people, when you presented something different, people will love to see, and somebody is definitely going to ask a question at the end of the presentation. How did you do this? So this is what we want exactly. But as I told you, pie chart is less popular nowadays because of its drawbacks. One, negative data, it cannot express properly. And when you have multiple series, pie chart is not right format of the charts. Okay. So how to use this quick chart, how to use this combo, how to use the combination of chart like line with column for budget versus actuals, then how to create a beautiful pie chart, and how to present it effectively. We saw all these things, right? Now I'll take you through one more beautiful chart type. Mostly it will be also helpful. One is called automatic chart. Now the question is, what is the meaning by automatic chart? Is it something by looking at the data we'll be commanding to Excel and Excel will plot the graph? No, there is no such kind of things. So automatic chart is something we'll prepare our chart only once in such a way whenever there is a need. Whenever there is a need, we'll change our data, and whenever we change our data, our chart will get updated accordingly. So let's see what is that in detail. We have got month-wise revenue. So entire 12 months data is there. So let's do one thing. March to December, I have selected and I have deleted. Suppose. Now I have got 2 months data and I need to plot a graph. I plotted. Now tomorrow, when I complete my March month and I plot my data, do you see March month data is being plotted anywhere inside the chart area? No. Why? When you select your chart, then you realize it has taken the data range up to Feb only. March is not yet added. Ideally, what we prefer to do, we take our mouse pointer in the center and we slightly drag it. Nothing wrong. What we are doing is absolutely perfectly fine. But this action is a recurring in nature. Every month end, I have to go and simply drag it something like this. Now you can ask me a question, Prabhas, why don't you take some anonymous range like this? What will be happening? My chart will be containing some unwanted space like this. So in this case, when I'm presenting to my audience, they will be asking question, Prabhas, why it is showing blanks? Can I say, sir, we are yet to complete the financial year or business year or calendar year? No way. That's not the right way to express. So this is not the right format. You should present your charts. So what you should do, let's discuss. See, this is the data we have. Okay. First thing, we have to convert our data into table by hitting Control T. So T for Tango, T for table. Now the chart is, the data is converted into table. I will plot a graph. Okay. Now, whatever the formattings we have learned, everything we can apply, like going to our chart design, take the last tile, then click on the plus symbol, remove the grid line. Chart title, I can bring it to the right side of chart area. Axis scale, I can remove it. Data label, I can add it. So this is how I did all these operations, whatever we have learned. Now tomorrow, just see the beauty, I need to only fill my data. Suppose I fill my data for the month of March, April, May. Can you see it is automatically getting updated in my chart area? I don't need to go and struggle with that. And if you look at what is happening, it is taking the equal distance between the columns, same data label is getting updated, same formatting is also added. Everything is happening automatically. I don't need to go and spend my extra efforts or time over there. And what is the beauty over here is, suppose any point of time you want to present only the quarterly data. So you can go to the month filter and choose which quarter it is. Suppose say April, May, and June. And when I click OK, you could notice only the quarterly information. So unwanted data we are not showing to the people. Unwanted questions are not going to come. So this is again one more advantage of converting our data into table. All right. So this is how you can always present your chart over there effectively. So all the elements, whatever it is needed, we got that basic understanding. And make a point you are following all these things, because nobody is going to demand for all these elements. But when you present it, definitely you can back the appreciation from the audience side. Fine. So this is what about our charts and graphs, people. Any doubt, any queries from anybody? whatever the formulas, functions today we discussed, charts, graphs we discussed, or from day one, day two, day three, anything you have any doubts or queries. So what I suggest is people, you take some live data from your workplace and keep practicing upon the same. I'll be sending the